good in getting this all set ahead of time. All right, so we're going on page 155. It says powers of monomials. Now, if you go back to the beginning of the chapter, we've done a couple of different things in this chapter. One of them was this. Adding the monomials, adding and subtracting. And hopefully you know you can't add those two, right? The only way to add them is if they have the same letters, but also the same exponents. You can only add x to the third with other x to the thirds, right? You can only add x to the fifth with other x to the fifth. So this one, I would not be able to do anything. However, if I had x to the third and another x to the third, what would that be? I'd have two of those, right? One plus another one of those, that would give me 2x to the thirds. Agree? So then yesterday, we did what happens, how about if I could write, what happens if I multiply x to the third times x to the fifth? What happens if I multiply those? Can you guys see okay over there? Okay. What happens if I multiply those? Multiplying is different than adding. Adding, you can't add those together. But multiplying, remember, the definition of x to the third is x times x times x, right? And x to the fifth, x times x, 3, 4, 5 of those. And I'm multiplying. So what do I really have? I have x multiplied by itself, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. X to the 8th. And we said yesterday, rather than write it out, you don't need to write it out this way every single time. Really all it is adding the exponents, right? And you know that already. We did that already yesterday. Well, here's what today's is going to be. X to the third power, and I'm raising that to the fifth power. What does that mean? That means whatever is in parentheses here, I'm going to multiply it by itself 5 times. What am I multiplying 5 times? X to the third. 3 of those, 4 of those, 5 of those. She is?
Yeah.
For how long?
10 days.
Oh.
10, 20.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Are you going to get tested?
Even if not, I'll come back a year later.
Right. Well, stay healthy. Keep your mask on. Get better. Hopefully you're not sick. So what do I really have here? What do I really have? How many x's? There's 3 and 3 more and 3 more. Because remember, that's like what we did yesterday where you add them up. How many will I have if I add all those up? How many? I can't hear you. How many? I still can't hear. All together. Say it. How many? 15. I'm trying to beg you to speak.
Is it 15?
It is 15, right? It is 15. Oh, I long for the days where I'd have to say, quiet down, it's too noisy in here. Oh, I'd give anything for those days again. You can speak. It's all right. I can hear you behind your mask. 15, Braden Overman?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And just like yesterday, there was a little bit of a shortcut. The shortcut was we add the exponents. Today's shortcut is multiply the exponents. Don't get mixed up which is which. Are you looking? Here, if there's only one base, a power raised to a power, multiply. Multiply power raised to a power. If you have two bases, like bases, then you add the exponents. Power to a power, multiply. Like bases, you add the exponents. So here, now is when I want you to talk. I want you to tell me, if I have u to the 4th raised to the 5th, what will that be?
U to 20.
Thank you very much. That will be u to the 20. You just need to multiply those. Although my 20 does not look like a 20. How about this one? U to the what? Sorry, x to the 10. Yes, x to the 10th, you just multiply those. However, make sure if it was x to the 2nd times x to the 5th, that would be x to the right. So power to a power, multiply. Like bases, you add them up. Now this one, there's a rule in one of those gray boxes there that says, oh, you probably can't see. Sorry. So u to the 4th times 5th, multiply u to the 20th. X to the 2nd to the 5th, x to the 10th. But what I was going to say is there's a rule in one of those boxes that says if you have parentheses and an exponent outside, that exponent goes with everything in the parentheses. So this is 2 squared. What is 2 squared? 4. And then I have x to the 3rd to the 2nd. What would that be? X to the 6th. So your answer is just 4x to the 6th. And again, like yesterday, there's not all that much work to show for these. Be a little bit careful. This is negative 2 to the 5th. What is negative 2 to the 5th? Now, that means negative 2 times negative 2, 3 of those, and 4 of those, and 5 of those. What is that? Well, multiply it out. What's this? Negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. Positive 4 times negative 2, negative 8. Negative 2 times negative 8, negative times negative is positive 16. And then finally, positive 16 times negative 2 is negative 32. So negative 2 to the 5th is negative 32. And then what do I get for the k's? K to the 5th. And not really that much work. I don't care if you write this part out or not. It's up to you. And then finally this one, make sure you remember that exponent goes with all of those. So I have negative 3 to the 3rd. What is negative 3 to the 3rd? Can you work that out for me? Are you breathing? Negative 3 to the 3rd? 486? Oh, thank you. Negative 27, is that right? Negative 27. Now be careful. I have x to the 2nd to the 3rd. What will that give me? X to the 6th. And then y to the 5th to the 3rd to the 15th. And that's your answer. And again, kind of nice because Son of a biscuit. Sorry, you guys. I can't win. Yesterday I forgot to turn it. No, yesterday it froze. Today I forgot to turn it. Today I remembered. The day before that I forgot, but now you can't see it. It's too much. It's too much. I'm just kidding. Anyway, so does that make sense? The hardest part about it is going to be remembering, okay, if it's adding, they have to be the same, otherwise I can't add them. But if it's multiplying, they don't have to be the same. And all I have to do if it's multiply is add the exponents. But if it's just one old and it's a power raised to a power, then I multiply those. You might want to write this down somewhere, this, just so you can remember it. Can I add those or not? Do I multiply those exponents or do I add those exponents? Just so you can remember that part. It's not hard, but the hardest part is going to be remembering what you're supposed to do. So that's about all I have to say. Do you have anything to say? Do you have anything? Are there questions? Are there any questions? Does anyone have a question? I'm on page 157. I'm on page 157. We're going to go WE. We're going WE 5 to 22. WE 5 to 22. It's only 5 to 22 because some of those have parts A, B, C. So that's about all I have to say.